not just in the economic life of our nation, but in our society too. But as Prime Minister, I want to support you to do even more. That is why, when the Chancellor delivers the government's autumn statement on Wednesday, he will lay out an agenda that is ambitious for business and ambitious for Britain. He will commit to providing a strong and stable foundation for our economy, continuing the task of bringing the deficit down and getting our debt falling so that we can live within our means once again. He will build on the actions that our independent Bank of England has already taken to support our economy. And he will do more to boost Britain's long-term economic success, setting out how we will take the big decisions we need to invest in our nation's infrastructure so that we can get the country and business moving. And he will show how we will do everything possible to make the UK outside the EU the most attractive place for business to grow and invest. I know that leaving the European Union creates uncertainty for business. I know that some are unsure about the road ahead or what your future operating environment will look like. And there will certainly be challenges. A negotiation like the one on which we're about to embark cannot be done quickly or without give and take on both sides. But there are opportunities too. Opportunities to get out into the world and do new business with old allies and new partners. To use the freedoms that come from negotiating with partners directly, to be flexible, to set our own rules and forge new and dynamic trading agreements that work for the whole UK. Opportunities to become the true global champion of free trade. And opportunities to demonstrate how a free, flexible, ambitious country like Britain can trade freely with others according to what's in their own best interests and those of their people. That is our aim and our ambition. And I am ambitious for Britain. I believe that if we approach the difficult negotiations to come in the right way, with the right spirit, we can strike a deal that's right for Britain and right for the rest of Europe too. And the right approach is not to rush ahead without doing the groundwork, but to take the time to get our negotiating position clear before we proceed. It's not to seek to replicate the deal that any other country has, but to craft a new arrangement that's right for us and right for Europe, recognising that a strong EU is good for Britain. It's not to provide a running commentary on every twist and turn, but to acknowledge that businesses and others need some clarity, so where I can set out our plans without prejudicing the negotiation to come, I will. That's why I've been able to set out the timetable for triggering Article 50 before the end of March next year, why I want an early agreement on the status of UK nationals in Europe and EU nationals here, so that you and they can plan with certainty, and why we've been engaging heavily with businesses over the past few months to understand your priorities and concerns, and why we will continue to do so. But while the negotiation to come will be critical, we must not lose sight of the wider message people sent on the 23rd of June. And so we must use this opportunity to build a more prosperous, more equal country, where prosperity is shared and there is genuine opportunity for all. We've already received some massive votes of confidence in Britain's long-term future from some of the world's most innovative companies. Nissan's decision to build 2 next-generation models at its plant in the northeast, securing 7,000 jobs. A record £24 billion investment from SoftBank in Britain's future. A £500 million expansion and 3,000 jobs from Jaguar Land Rover. A £200 million investment from Honda. £275 million from GlaxoSmithKline. Investment in a new headquarters from Apple. An estimated £1 billion investment and 3,000 new jobs from Google. And this morning, Facebook have announced a 50% increase in their workforce in the UK by the end of 2017. Yet there is more that government can do, not just to encourage businesses to invest in Britain, but to ensure those investments benefit people in every corner of the country. That's why one of my first actions as Prime Minister was to establish a new department with specific responsibility for developing a modern industrial strategy. A strategy that will back Britain's strategic strengths and tackle our underlying weaknesses. Our strengths are clear. We're an open, competitive trading economy. We compete with the best in autos, aerospace, and advanced engineering. We're breaking new ground in life sciences and new fields like robotics, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. We're leaders in global professional services, from architecture to accountancy, from law to consulting. We've world-beating universities and the highest research productivity of the top research nations. We have a vibrant creative industry, producing an extraordinary level of talent, recognised and respected the world over. And of course, we're leaders in global finance, not just banking, but investment management and insurance too. But as we celebrate these strengths, so we should also be frank about some of our weaknesses. We have more Nobel laureates than any country outside the United States, but all too often, great ideas developed here end up being commercialized elsewhere. We are home to one of the world's financial capitals, but too frequently fast-growing firms can't get the patient long-term capital investment they require and have to sell out to overseas investors to access the finance they need. We have truly world-class sectors and firms, but overall business and government investment remains lower than our competitors. We have outstanding firms and clusters in every part of this country, but taken as a whole, our economic success is still too unbalanced and focused on London and the South East. We have gold standard universities, but we are not strong enough in STEM subjects, and our technical education isn't good enough. And while the UK's recovery since the financial crisis has been one of the strongest in the G7, our productivity is still too low. But if we want to increase our overall prosperity, if we want more people to share in that prosperity, if we want bigger real wages for people, if we want more opportunities for young people to get on, we have to improve the productivity of our economy. So these are the long-term structural challenges the industrial strategy aims